IDW Sonic Comic Issue 39. I love actually getting to see how the Combinix are made. It's with a slot machine with 3 reels that automatically puts them together. It's nice of Cubot to tell the robot to have fun when he goes through the green portal. I guess the portals were made with warp topaz-like technology. It's kind of amusing that when they get a lame new robot made, Orbot says, not the best. And Cubot says, maybe it'll get a hidden if it flails extra hard. It's realistic that some of the combinations suck, and that's noticed immediately. Eggman was smart enough to have people supervising the new robots. Then Orbot gets upset because he had spent 4 hours stacking some things alphabetically, and when he's actually asked why, he explains that it helps with his anxiety, which humanizes them. Then Tangle puts her tail around the two of them. Eggman tells Sonic through an intercom that every move he makes and every trick or trap he gets past is all data on how Eggman can improve his technology. There's a fire, but Sonic spin dashes a hole in the wall instantly to get out. And because of all that talking, Eggman bought Tails enough time to track down where the signals were coming from, so they know where to go. Sonic grabs Tails and Amy's hands and they just get sent upwards a little, because Eggman's controlling the gravity. Sonic carries Amy while jumping on robots that die immediately while Tails can fly, and Sonic grabs onto a chimney to hang from it, and Tails isn't picking up any unusual readings. Granted, I guess the Combinix would be dangerous to regular people, especially if they don't have any weapons to fight them with. But still, Sonic's used to regular badniks. Why would he take any new robots seriously? The same reason for why I should take it seriously that Eggman made old robots, that they could threaten civilians when he's not there to defend them, could also be applied to the Combinix. Sonic jumps ahead as they talk way too much, and then they get faced with yet another large machine to fight. Eggman wasting their time so much would only make sense if he was busy working on something important the whole time. Amy gets pushed out of the way of lightning, and Amy uses her hammer to smack something with spikes into the robot, which Sonic compliments. He jumps on it a lot in spin dash form and gets shocked, but he smiles afterwards like it's nothing, so I guess he had rings. It's nice of Tails to ask him if he's okay. He takes his hand and throws him in spin dash form to the cockpit, and Eggman taunts them with a hologram that it's not over yet. Then they get threatened with some more big robots. Gee, I wonder if they'll win this time. This is action, but even this is boring me. I bet none of them will get injured, so why should I take it seriously? Realistically, when Amy smacks something fiery, she gets some fire on her, and they get splashed with a bunch of water. I've seen this too. I've seen the heroes deal with elemental robots in the Sonic X comic. Amy says as Tails rescues her that she's at least not on fire anymore. Why program a water robot to douse your enemy's fire? It's really not programmed intelligently. At least it's new that Sonic's foot is hanging on her hammer as they're being carried by a flying Tails. Whatever. They also get threatened by tornadoes below them, and are on the ground as steam surrounds them. The heroes being threatened by the elements of nature sounds like an idea that's so easy to come up with that even I would have gone to that right away, as a newbie writer. Because I think about Sword of Mana and all the elemental spirits you could use to cast magic throughout the game. Elemental magic is in like every RPG ever, and Sonic characters have magical powers, so that's fantasy. So Belle says she's redirected the potential Egg Pawn army, and Orbot and Cubot can't tell whether or not Belle was made by Eggman. Belle shows Tangle some footage of Sonic, and Tangle says the portal gates are all over the place. So Belle wants to figure out which ones are connected. And she looks up at a ton of various portals. Logic would dictate that the heroes are fighting in a pocket dimension, either one Eggman made, or one that Eggman got access to. It'd be way less overpowered for Eggman to have not created a universe himself. Tangle tries to walk into one portal, and then says psych and tries to walk into another portal, and Orbot shouts no, and that's how she manipulates him to revealing which one's the right one. That's clever of her. Tangle ties her tail around something and plans on jumping into the portal. Belle panics and insists that if Tangle jumps into the portal, she'll either die or half of her will end up in the ocean instead. Hey genius, how do you think Sonic got into that place? By blinking? Of course the portals have been proven to be safe. She should have said that what she's worried about is that if Tangle does this, then she'll be warped away from her tail. Because her tail is in one place and then she goes into another place. Not all of her body goes into the portal. But somehow that doesn't happen. The story ends with Tangle running to the portal, as I'm kind of baffled that the little story arc hasn't ended yet, when it's been basically nothing but the heroes either journeying or fighting. There's no tension in whether the heroes will beat the robots or not. I hate to give any compliments to the Metal Virus arc, but at least when there was always a chance that some character would end up roboticized in a fight, and I had no idea if the arc would actually end or not, the tension felt actually real, so it actually mattered what they did. They're gonna win no matter what. I thought Belle would get her answers in this story, but the pacing was slower than I thought. This is why Archie and Fleetway are more interesting. At least they vary it up from just the characters fighting, because they have history, geography. I've already predicted what the so-called twist with Belle will be. She's a project Eggman didn't even tell Orbot and Cubot about. It'd be interesting if she was made so that she'd infiltrate the restoration for him, and even she wouldn't know. And that's why she was programmed to have a harmless personality to trick the heroes. Or she could have actually been built by a new character that's a wooden robot engineer we could be looking forward to seeing. If she was built in that base, well, she didn't say she was, so that feels like a last-minute change. If she meets her creator and he's a nice guy who builds wooden robots, then that's gonna be it. But if her creator is Eggman, well, that's also gonna be it, because the heroes know she's a good person, and she won't let that change anything. This issue by Evan Stanley is about Belle and Tangle eventually getting to a room full of portals after Tangle gets Orbot and Cubot tied up. And Tangle wants to enter a portal to save Sonic from some elemental robots from the Sonic X comic that do basically nothing new. I wonder if the heroes will destroy the robots. How does Eggman still have the motivation to try? It's always obvious that he'll fail. The definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Oh, let's just keep throwing more robots at them. That's intimidating. At least Boom Eggman was smart enough to think that robots isn't working out for him, and maybe he should throw a gorilla at Sonic. It sure took a long time to get through a plot where so little actually happened, and Belle still hasn't gotten her answers. It's hard to believe this was an entire issue.